What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Convincing Idiots. This is episode 302. That's right. And this week on the show, we've got a lot to talk about. First of all, the passing of Sam Neill, tragically, of the Jurassic Park films. We're going to revisit his career, as well as an AI actress is being introduced into films and ushered in by real actors and actresses. We're going to talk about how we feel about that, as well as hacks. That's right. And not just the two that you see or hear right here. There are other hacks that are cleaning up right now, and we're going to tell you all about it. And in our final segment, Brian and myself are going to take it back to the 80s for you. That's right. We're going to be discussing and figuring out who belongs on the Convincing Idiots Mount Rushmore of all-time 80s rock vocalists. So stick around, and without further ado, let's start the show.
You guys enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test.
Test.
What do you call it again?
Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got the whole poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Caucasian.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Hello out there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. I am Millennial Nick.
Gen X Brian.
And we are without the Zennial Dean this week. But typically, if you're not familiar, like I said, we are Convincing Idiots. This is a podcast put out every week that has three, typically, friends representing three different generations and talking about all things nerd and pop culture. So if you've not done so already and you enjoy nerd and pop culture, please go find us on all of your favorite social media accounts. We are on, I think, pretty much all of them. And you can find links to all of them by going to our link tree. And to find that, you would simply go to Google and type in Convincing Idiots. That's us. Linktree, LINKTREE, and you can follow those links not only to our socials, but as well to our merch store. If you would like to grab yourself some Convincing Idiots merch, we appreciate that. There's also a link to our email address if you would like to contact us and let us know that you enjoyed the show or you thought it was shit. Either way, we like hearing from people. And you can also find a link to our website, or you could go there directly yourself, and that is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. This is episode 302 of
Right.
Convincing Idiots, and it's just the two of us this week. Dean is out on holiday doing his thing, and he's probably having something lovely to drink. But you know what? Dean didn't decide to drop in this call, so we don't care what Dean's drinking. What I care
That's
about
right.
is what Brian is drinking.
That's right.
Brian, what are you kicking off 302 by drinking?
I have
this
a
evening?
high class beer here to kick us off into the 300s, sir.
Mhm.
Busch Light Lime.
Ooh, nice.
Thank you very much. You know what? It is
How are
not
those?
bad. It is
Yeah?
not bad. First time I've tried these. I think you get a 30-pack for like
$12.
$3.99 or something like that. No, but it's not bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not, it's not a fancy craft beer, of course, but it's a nice light beer.
Yep.
And the lime is not too acidic. It's not bad. It's a nice summery, sipping, cheap beer. There you have
Nice.
it.
I've been wanting to try those because I'm a big fan of the Busch Apple.
Yeah.
We've all tried those before and like them a lot. And I love a lime beer, like anything with lime in it, especially in the summertime, like a good crisp light beer with some lime in it. So I've not actually tried those yet, but I need to make my way around to those because
Pick
I'm
them
a
up.
fan.
I found a Giant Eagle. I found them. You can get them out there. The Bush Apple's a good breakfast beer, Nick.
Yeah,
by the way.
It's healthy. Well, they always say it's good to add a little fruit to the morning spread. There, get some fruit in early. So, lime, perfect. It's hot outside.
Yeah,
might as well stay hydrated. Get a good refreshing lime in there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cut the smoke.
That's
Cut
right.
the smoke this time. Right now, we're getting we're Northeast Ohio. We're getting a lot of smoke coming down from wildfire fires in. Was it? Is it Canada?
Northern Ontario.
I think. Yeah, man, crazy.
Yeah,
last couple of years around this time, it seems like it happened.
Say it happened a couple years back. I remember, and obviously with climate change and stuff like that, forest fires happen pretty easily and stuff like that when it gets real dry and hot as it's been. But yeah, I think it was back in 2013. There was really devastating fires in Fort McMurray, which is in Alberta. And I mean, but we didn't get all the smoke and stuff from that because Alberta's above Minnesota and stuff. So it's or Montana over that way, I guess it would be. But every time we get something like in Ontario above us, all that stuff, it makes its way down. So it's very strange. Yeah, it's very weird to just look out and smell like smoke. Campfire smoke. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there's just it's a weird thing. It looks like it's foggy, like in the middle of the day. It's very strange.
Yes.
So, but hope everybody's. I know there's a lot they're doing all they can to get those under control up there. So best of luck to them for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I mean, to be a bummer there. So what are you having to drink?
Yeah, well,
sir, on a lighter note.
I am having one of my very favorite beers. It is from Dissolver Brewing, which is in North Carolina, and this is the peanut butter and jelly turbo fluff. It is phenomenal. It actually tastes. So is this a PB&J marshmallow gluten-free sour? And the best way I can describe it to you, and as I will show you if you're watching on YouTube, it has a nice maybe strawberry raspberry jam coloring to it there. It literally drinks like you're eating an Uncrustables. It's amazing. It's fucking incredible. So yeah, my dad was kind enough. So I became a really big fan of this brewery, Dissolver. They're out of Asheville, and my dad living in North Carolina. There's a craft beer store near him where they get a lot of their beers in there, and I started buying them because I don't know. I think I picked out one of their cans because it just kind of looked cool or whatever. And they had like a blueberry cheesecake beer that I had one time on draft at that place, and it was just phenomenal. So every beer I've ever tried from that brewery is incredible. But the PB&J Turbo Fluff takes the cake. It's the best one I've ever had from them for sure. So I would recommend you go get it, but it's kind of difficult to get. I've never seen their beers in stores, but the craft store that my dad would get it from in South Carolina, or in North Carolina, they would drive to like a bunch of breweries in North and South Carolina and personally go buy the stuff and stock their shelves at their tap house. So then you can buy cans from there. But shout out to Coastal Craft in North Carolina. That's where that's at. So
sweet.
If you're ever in the Calabash, Carolina Shore area, I don't know. But go check them out. So, but yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, we're down that way to check it out for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we were off last week. Nick took a break last week. Did you watch or listen or anything you wish to recommend for idiot reviews?
I don't know how much I really watched, but I will give you a listen review. Jack White's new album came out last week. It's fucking great. The name of it escapes. It's something Charlotte something. But yeah, it's fantastic. And Jack White always impresses me because he's very uniquely him, right? Like nobody sounds like Jack White. Like it's unmistakable. Even without him, you don't even have to hear him sing. The sound of the music he makes is very distinctly him. Nobody sounds like Jack White, even musically. So, he's obviously had a great career with doing the White Stripes beforehand, and then as a solo artist, he's just continued to soar. So, but it's a great album. I'm a big fan. try to listen to everything new from him, and this album did not disappoint. So,
Very good.
would strongly recommend the new Jack White album.
Nice.
So,
That's Frozen Charlotte. That might be what
Frozen
you said.
Charlotte. That's
Frozen
it. Yeah,
Charlotte.
I knew Charlotte was in there somewhere. Yeah, Frozen Charlotte. That's right. Yeah, very good. Very good. Very good album.
Good. Yeah, Ali and I picked up a new show, watched a couple episodes. You can find it on Hulu. This is the Deli Boys. So it's about a family of Indian descent. They live in the United States. These two guys work for their father. He has some type of business, and owns a bunch of delis and things. And then something happens to him. He dies suddenly, and then they sort of find out that their family he was like a crook, basically. His father was a kind of a criminal, and there was a whole underworld in their family, and this and that and the other. So they're sort of getting sucked into this, completely unexpected. So, just funny. It's an intriguing storyline. Just a funny show, just a good show. So again, you can find it on Hulu. Deli Boys.
Okay. So it's a comedy.
It's a comedy. Yeah, action comedy. Definitely more of a comedy.
Okay.
Like an action type comedy, but then you have the whole crime storyline and everything. So there's some violence, stuff like that, but just a good, solid adult comedy show.
Okay.
Yeah. So
nice.
Looking for something different. Like, you don't know what the hell to watch. Pick that up, watch an episode or two, see what you think, and see if you get hooked like Allie and I.
Nice. Deli Boys.
Yeah.
I will
Deli Boys. Yes, nice. Indeed. All right, some pop culture headlines, Nick. I was debating on starting with the death or not, but okay, we're off last week. We'll start with the death here.
Let's do the deaths.
Do the deaths.
Yep.
Sam Neill passed away, Nick.
Yeah.
78 years of age this past Monday. We're shooting this on July 16th, Thursday the 16th. So I think it was a week ago, Monday at this point here. But if somebody's like, well, who's Sam Neill? Well, he's best known for his roles in the Jurassic Park series. Mm-hmm. So the main doctor character, I'm sure you all knew who he was, and that was... I had it right in front of me a second ago.
I'm sure you all know who it was, and it was
Dr. Alan Grant. That's it. That's it.
Dr. Alan Dr. Grant.
Yes.
I knew once you said it, I would know. See, because you were right. You said we all know, and I did know. I didn't remember until you said it, but no. But that's no slight. Obviously, this movie came out in like 1993 or 4 or something like that.
That's right. Yeah.
So, very cool character, right? I mean, he's the hero of Jurassic Park. He is. Mm-hmm. He is the main character. I mean, the way I always saw it, there's many main characters, I guess you could argue, in the original Jurassic Park, but he always felt like the hero, right? So, but yeah, I mean, great, and he showed back up in some of the later ones as well, right? Either that role was reprised and not too long ago in one of the more recent Jurassic Park movies.
Yes, he reprised the role in Jurassic Park 3 in 2001. He came back, and then in World Dominion in 2022.
Okay, yeah. So, no, a very cool character, and unfortunately, I mean, I'm not super familiar with, much of his other work than those movies, but certainly a memorable character and great performances. Very cool character. Almost like he really was almost like a modern day Indiana Jones in those movies. It felt like,
Yeah, for sure. And definitely a versatile actor. He was in Peaky Blinders. He had a pretty major role there, I guess, for a season.
I never watched that, but I know it was I remember hearing a lot about that show. It was really popular.
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff here that he was in The Hunt for Red October. Kind of forget about that. Event Horizon. I remember him, and I didn't realize it until I looked it up when he passed away here, but his first major role was in The Omen 3. He played the adult Damien the Omen.
Really?
In The Omen 3. Yeah, so he was becoming more of the Antichrist in that movie and all that. Very creepy role for him, but he was great. I mean, everything he was in, just getting one of those actors like you knew you were just going to get a solid a performance, so so just huge catalog, lived a long time, died of pneumonia, poor guy, but
How old was he?
78.
Oh wow, okay. It's much. It's man, time's a weird thing. Like I still see him, and
Seems young when you
I've
hear someone
seen.
passing at that age
Well, he
anymore.
also
Yeah.
didn't look that age because I mean I did see the Jurassic World that he was in 2022. He's certainly an older man than he was in visibly in '93, but
Hmm.
it didn't look that old.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So definitely, again, great actor. Rest in peace.
Yes.
An actor getting some negative news in the world of pop culture, Nick. Tilly Norwood. I don't know if you remember the name or not. We talked about Tilly Norwood. This is a few episodes ago. So, do you remember the name
I
by chance at
I
all?
don't.
That's fine.
Tilly
It's okay.
Norwood.
It's okay. So Tilly Norwood is this AI actor.
Oh,
So she's
right.
sort of always sort of
Okay.
alive on social media and her own AI world with other actors and actresses.
That
Okay.
are also AI.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was announced recently that she's going to be in a movie. So she's going
Okay.
to be in a feature film, a comedy drama called Misaligned. And it's going to star Tilly Norwood in a, quote, hybrid production with traditional film and TV professionals, such as directors, writers, and editors, working alongside AI specialists with AI training and mentorship built into the production itself.
Huh.
So, when definitely the union, SAG-AFTRA is not happy about this, of course, because you're using now this AI actress in a feature film where, of course, you can actually have real human beings star. And this movie, I guess, is going to take place in this Tillyverse, which the production company described as the surreal digital world somewhere in the cloud where these actors and actresses live.
So is this is the equivalent of like them trying to like put her over? Is that like what the like to be like, oh, it's okay. There's going to be other like actors and actresses, like real ones, right? And then like, but also featuring her. And this is
Yes.
and I like probably a way to ease into the idea of how fucking weird this is, and just be like,
I guess so. It says here that let's see, it doesn't. So the AI company said that AI can support premium narrative filmmaking, but only with substantial amounts of human craft, skill, judgment, and time. It's not a limitation. That's the point. So, but yeah, I think that's sort of probably what you're saying here. Is it's a way to like you say, showcase this technology. Of course, they're going to spin it that way. Like, hey, the AI can't run itself. Sort of can, I guess, but you need humans to use the technology. It's not all that bad. But then again, of course, you're still putting some human actors, out of work here. At least not offering them, not putting them out of work, but you're not giving them work by
right.
not offering this role to them. So yeah, I would imagine for sure you're gonna see, well, how was this received, like you say,
Yeah.
and if it's well received, then you're probably going to see more stuff here. Some people won't know the difference. Some people won't care. Certainly,
Sure.
some people will care. So, I don't know. Do you care? Are you a little bit more curious because it's AI? Or are you just like, nah? I just want to see. Either
Yeah.
live people, or if I want to watch animation or something like that, I can do that. I don't need to see any AI crap. What do you think about this?
I'm kind of I am curious. Ultimately the idea it gives me the ick, and I don't really know why. I was kind of
Hmm.
like thinking in my head of like, why is it? It's weird that like I don't know. I was trying to think and compare it to certainly. Let's take for example, I don't know, like Sonic the Hedgehog movies, right?
Mhm.
James Marsden is the guy that plays, I think his name's Tom in the Sonic films, the guy that finds Sonic, right? When acting in those movies, he is primarily by himself on screen and looping in a character that is not there, but however is voiced and portrayed by a human.
Right.
So I think there's a disconnect there. I'm not. It's not so much that it's like a principled, like an ardent, like I'm against AI. It's not really like that. It's just more weird. Like, why do we, we've had many discussions on the show with all of us about AI and stuff. It's just like, yeah, it feels like you're trying to ease me into the idea by being like, let's just feature a character that's artificial intelligence. It's fine. And then eventually it's just going to be like, if we can get everybody used to that, we can start rolling out like complete. And that's kind of what I want. I don't want to get to be a thing. I don't want completely AI done things. And I'm sure the technology will continue to grow and get better. I'm sure it could produce some really good stuff. And I am curious about this movie, knowing that it's featuring an AI character. I would like to see just exactly what are we talking about? What can it do? What's different? Do you notice anything? All that kind of stuff. But it's just at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't know how I don't are people asking for this? Like it just feels icky. It just feels like a cheaper way to make bigger profits. And
Yeah.
that's the part that I don't really like. And also, I mean, that's not even mentioning the creative angle of like actors and actresses and what makes an actor and actress good or beloved by audiences is like how they deliver a performance and what type of range they have and how, like, and it's, I don't know. It's weird. I'm certainly interested. I'm very curious, but I am cautiously curious because like I said, I just don't want it to become like a thing where I don't know how much you're on like like Instagram and TikTok when you're like scrolling through and just watching these little reels. Every now and again some type of completely AI done story will be in there, like a little something that happened, and it's weird because it's very clearly AI, but it's done really well, but it's the voices are AI and the people on screen are AI. It's all fake. You can tell it's all fake, and I don't know. It's just weird. And maybe this is the path, right? This is the path to the dark side or being an old, is just that I don't like, this is not familiar to me and it makes me uncomfortable. And maybe some kids today are like, who cares? Like if entertainment's entertainment, or you watch an all animated movie where there are no characters physically there. It's like, but yes, the vocal talents, the writing, all that still is, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not really. I mean, I'm kind of with you. I'm curious what it looks like and everything, but
Yeah.
I I don't know if I'm any more interested necessarily because it's AI. I definitely don't like the idea of putting actresses and actors out of work, and you're not going to ever really do that with big big actors and actresses. I don't think that'll ever really happen. I don't think most people will tolerate that necessarily,
Yeah.
um but for these smaller roles and different things, I mean, that's where I think you're going to probably see more of that stuff.
Yeah.
You may have AIs, smaller characters or background characters and things, and I don't know, man. It's just going to keep developing. They're gonna like you said, they're gonna test it out here and see. They're continue to use the technology. I read a thing the other day about that there's a new George Washington biopic that's out there, and they used AI to help. I guess it was enhance the scene where they were crossing the river. It was freezing cold or whatever it was, and instead of actually trying to recreate all of that, they used AI to make it look like the water was cold or something like that. So that type of stuff I don't mind. That's fine.
Sure. Yeah, to
But
add effect to a movie or
it
something like that,
affects.
that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was interesting to see. I am curious to see the AI Val Kilmer in that newer
Yes.
movie. That
Yeah.
intrigues me. But again, it's about Val Kilmer. His estate's still making some money off of that.
Right.
So
And that's a
I-
good point you bring up, because it's like I think that's why it's icky to me even more, is like, this is just, we're not even passing that off as being an actor that is known for actual human work. Like, this is an AI actress. Like, what? Like, that sentence doesn't compute to me.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like, what? An AI actress? Like, I think that's the weird part too, is by saying they're an AI actress, you're humanizing the concept.
Yeah.
Why is the actress AI? Why isn't the role just AI? You know what I mean? Like, or this character, like, let's say in doing Star Wars or whatever, and it's like, okay, Jar Jar Binks is AI. Like, okay, that's fine. But if you're like, Ahmet Best is AI, like, why do you have to give the artificial intelligence thing a name, and like it has its own career? Like, that's weird. Right? That
Yeah.
just feels like strange.
Yeah, just odd. I don't know. It's going to keep coming.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could top the AI. Those short reels I see of like Chuck Norris coming in and just like in random movies and like it's like kicking people.
Yeah.
That's hard to top.
That is good. That is good.
It's
Yeah.
hard to top in my mind.
That's what
I
AI
saw the
was
other
made
day, it was
for.
Apollo Creed going around punching out people in different movies and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
those are fun, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I am intrigued. We talked about this before. I am intrigued. It would be interesting for me. You could take some classic characters and actors and actresses. Again, you have to get their permission,
Sure.
and you could just make stories, continuation stories of that actor or actress in a role that they were in when they were younger or something
Mhm.
like that. So
Yeah.
that type of stuff intrigues me. Like you could do, you could have a young Luke Skywalker type
Yeah.
series or something like that, where
Sure.
it's AI with Mark Hamill's
Yeah. Kind of like how they added
voice
him
or
in The Mandalorian, as
Yeah.
young Luke is in that movie
stuff like that.
or
But
show.
But again, it's still the actor or I think that's the difference. I think you and I
Yeah.
are sort of agreeing. That's the thing where if it's a known personality that's being portrayed and at least his or her estate is still making some money from this, or the actor or actress, his or herself, but they're still with us, that seems to be okay. But this original, like, who cares about an original AI
Yeah.
being?
Right.
It's weird.
That is put a little a pin in that. I think that would be a good idea for a show topic. If you could add, with all that the AI is doing, if you could take maybe a deceased or a younger version of an actor and actress and put them in something like that, what would you add them to, or what would you like role to be reprised? Maybe that couldn't be done otherwise. That would be interesting.
I like that. Okay, yeah. Definitely.
But you know what? I'm okay with AI. Where what I'd like to see AI actors. I'd be okay with it if it was like commercials for like Ozempic and stuff, or like depression medicine. Like, you know what I mean? If you wanted to do that, which maybe is not fair to the people who get that work, because it's not like you see those people in TV shows or anything. So those are people trying to do something. So maybe that's not fair either. Or better yet, what would be good for AI? If they, if you made AI like instructional videos. You know what I mean? Those cheesy like safety videos you'd have to watch at like a workplace, or like at my work they did one where it's like an office style sketch, but it's teaching you about cybersecurity and what to look out for, but it's delivering it to you like a TV show, and it's just
I know
what I mean, do that with
about.
AI.
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Just like do like educational or instructional videos or something like that. That like. People at OSHA have to show you something like that. That would be good. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Well, not AI actors and actresses are up for Emmy Awards, Nick. So that this is interesting here. We had a comedy that, let's see here, it's breaking records in the amount of nominations, excuse me here. So, Hacks on HBO.
Okay.
Surpassed the record set by Pop TV's Schitt's Creek, which collected 15 nominations for its send-off season in 2020, the most ever for a comedy series final season, breaking the mark of 30 Rocks for 13 in 2013. But Hacks collected 23. Let's see here. Let's see here. Brought her career by 24 Emmy nominations. Okay, 24. There you go. 24 Emmy nominations for its fifth and final season. Hacks.
Wow.
HBO Max.
Wow.
Did you ever see it? Ever
No.
see? I just caught the like 23 nominations for a television show in a single season is certainly pretty impressive.
Is this now? What season of it is it
Fifth.
in? The fifth. Hacks on HBO.
Fifth and final.
Okay, so I've been out of the loop on HBO because we are, our Max subscription expired, or we stopped.
Okay.
It went up again, or something like that, and it was getting kind of crazy. So, I've been out of the loop on the HBO stuff, but I feel like I've heard of it, maybe. But if you asked me to give you a synopsis of it, I couldn't. I don't really know anything about it.
Yeah, we watched a few episodes of a season. It's one we got to go pick back up again here. But the premise is it's an older, it's a very famous comedian.
Mm-hmm.
So she has like a Vegas act. She was a huge act, and then she's getting a little older, and then the club that they've had her on forever starts to kind of push her out, and then she decides that she needs like she's looking for a new assistant or something like that to help her out or something. And they bring in this young woman and they don't really connect. And then they wind up having, they wind up working together and getting a connection. So it's kind of about their relationship in, different stages of life and everything. And the younger person's she was looking for a new comedy writer. That's what it was. It wasn't an assistant. She was looking for someone suggested you need to get a writer to help you with your jokes and make your act more current and fresh. That's what it was. So she finds this young woman to come in and write comedy for her. They don't really connect. And then they wind up fostering a friendship and everything. So it's about that whole dynamic. So, very good, well written, everything. I mean, clearly it's cleaning house here in the Emmy nomination. So definitely
It sounds interesting. It sounds very like original and different. You know what I mean? Like a different type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I like that original concept like that. So, well, you haven't seen it. I've barely seen it here. I just thought it was interesting that any show could rack up that many nominations in one season is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, furthermore, it's even more impressive the fact that I mean, neither one of us are the most plugged into everything people, but I mean, like
Right.
we have our ears to the ground, so to speak. Like we, you know what I mean, we pick up on things through, and we, are on a pop culture podcast. Neither one of us are super familiar with that show, and it's doing that well. I mean, like Schitt's Creek was, whether you watched it or not, I feel like everybody was pretty aware of it. You know what I mean? Like Schitt's Creek was enough of everywhere in the ether that everybody, I think, kind of knew of it at the very least. So that's really impressive.
Absolutely. All right. Well, congratulations to Hacks, and hope they have a successful final season. And we are going to take a break, and Nick's going to tell you about his idea, another musical topic that he and I can relate to, and he'll tell you all about that right after this.
Oh, yeah.
Gen X Brian here from the Convincing Idiots podcast. If you're enjoying our show, tell a friend. And if you're not, well, tell two enemies.
Three.
All right, people, welcome back to the second segment and final of Convincing Idiots, episode 302. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Millennial Nick back along with Gen X Brian. Gen X Brian and myself, although we are the furthest two separated on the generational spectrum here of our little program, we have a lot of overlaps. Actually, quite a few. But one of the ones that we maybe overlap on the most is our affinity for 80s rock metal bands. Hair bands, music of that era. Certainly, that was the music of your youth and young adulthood.
Yep.
And for me, I grew up with it in childhood because my dad was listening to the same stuff. So we like a lot of the same music and a lot of the same bands. So I thought, being that it's just the two of us this week, maybe we would come up with our collective Mount Rushmore of our top 80s vocalists. So we're kind of sticking more to rock bands. There'd be, heavy metal and stuff like that. So rock vocalists of the 1980s. So pretty loose framework here, I think. We're just, like I said, I've got maybe a few on my list that certainly were, around in multiple eras, but were certainly relevant in the 80s as well. So since there's just two of us tonight, we're gonna each give 5, and then from there we'll hash it out. So, Brian, why don't you start us off? You were there when it all happened.
Yes.
Why don't you give us your 5?
Yeah, so my five of my favorite 80s metal and rock vocalists. I have my shirt's a hint, Judas Priest, Rob Halford, Judas Priest, the great Ronnie James Dio.
Oh, yep.
Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden, Don Dokken.
Nice.
Right. And one I'm fairly certain we are going to overlap on, the fantastic, terrific Jeff Tate.
That's right.
Queensryche.
Exactly.
We also saw in concert not long ago, about a year or so ago, 2 years ago maybe, but great show.
Yeah.
That's what I got. That's my 5.
Well, the majority of our Mount Rushmore is going to be giving flowers to, because my 5 are Jeff Tate of Queensryche, Don Dokken of Dokken, Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden, and I also have Janet Gardner of Vixen and Paul Stanley of Kiss. So there we go. So, all right. Well, right off the rip, I actually did not expect us to overlap that much. I probably thought you were going to have Bruce. I thought you just might have Jeff Tate. I did not think you would have Don Dokken. So that's funny.
I just added him just now. We had to add a couple more just now.
Yeah. So we'll start with Don. And the reason I wouldn't say that I don't know why, but Dokken, I guess they're just not. I mean, for certainly of that time, they were huge, but I don't feel like they're in present day they're as much of a known thing, maybe as much. So I don't know if they're in the forefront of people's minds, and that's not to take anything away from them, because they had, I mean, incredible music, incredible albums. And Don Dokken is on my list because his voice was so unique to him, I think, and so powerful. Like he really had, and he had a lot of range. I mean, a lot of the singers of that time did. But I mean, just incredible songs, Breaking the Chains. One of the ones that it was never one of my favorite ones, because it wasn't a heavier rock song, but more of a ballad, was Alone Again. And that is a perfect example of his voice and how good it is. Like it really, I feel like it shines on that song a lot. Dream Warriors, and I mean, it's great stuff from Dokken. So, so like I said, I didn't think he'd be on your list just because, like I said, present day, I just don't feel like you hear as much about them or see their. I don't know if you'd know better than I, but does he tour? Does he do anything? What is Don Dokken up to these days?
Yeah, no, he has toured. And recently he had some shows where George Lynch came back and joined him on stage. Now, there's rumors that maybe they'll make some new music together, because they were known. I mean, those two fought for years. Those two had a falling out. And again, George Lynch, you talk about, we should have another episode, honestly, Nick. We do favorite guitarists of the 80s. George Lynch he'd be on that list.
For sure.
Fantastic guitar player. But yeah, no, he's done some shows. He's made some newer music not all that long ago, and it's not bad. Now, we saw him, I think this was maybe 2018 or 2019. We went to the Akron Civic Theater. Lita Ford opened up, who was fantastic.
Oh wow.
Looked great, sounded great, played great, awesome. He came out, it was a fucking embarrassment. It really
Really?
was.
Yeah.
I was really like, dude,
Yeah.
and he admitted he had some, he had drinking. It was awful.
Yeah.
Terrible, terrible, terrible show. And I'm like, man, it didn't make me less of a fan of when he was younger, but that was a really disappointing show. But
Sure.
I think since then he's got his crap more together. You can find it makes like a lot of TikTok videos and shorts where people are interviewing him. He's telling
Oh,
stories
okay.
about stuff. So he looks like he's getting his crap together here. But
That's good.
yeah, there's some you can get now. I saw it advertised. You can buy some like certain anniversaries of some of their old albums, and he and George Lynch have signed them. Firsthand. You can pick those up and everything. But yeah, like you said, all the stuff Dawkins, one of my favorite bands of the '80s period.
Yeah.
Several albums are great, and again, start to finish, you could listen to an entire Dawkins album. Just one of those bands where most of the songs, it's like these are, and a lot of that is like you said, it's just he had such great vocal range. He really
Yeah.
could do it all. He could sing high notes, extended high notes, in tune, powerful voice, like you said, and it played so well off of George Lynch's guitar sound. It's just a very great band, and it really was something where they got to sort of like a verge. It seemed like where they did some I'm sure some bigger concerts and stuff like that, but just never quite broke through major.
Yeah.
Just they kind of seemed like they were on the cusp there, but again, just great music, really
Yeah.
a lot of fun. And so if you're like, man, I'm looking for something like the retro type music or whatever, but I think it still holds up great.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You
Yeah, I
know,
throw on some Dokken every now and again, because it's like their song. They had so many songs that were just total earworms. Where like they're just so catchy and they're
in my
good rock
dreams,
songs.
there's
Yeah,
a
in my dream.
bunch of
Yeah,
them.
yeah. But yeah, like you can. I just so incredible. And it's you said that about like them like breaking through, not really breaking through big or whatever. It's funny to hear that stuff because when I was at that time. I don't have a frame of reference because in my house, all these bands were the biggest bands in the world because that's like what I heard all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I think I told the story on here before once or twice, but I had a friend in like middle school. I was getting ready to go see Kiss, their farewell tour back in 2001. And I mentioned to a friend in middle school that I was leaving school early that day. And they were like, "Oh, what are you leaving for?" And I'm like, "I'm going to see Kiss tonight." And they were like, "Who's Kiss?" And I was like, "Who's Kiss?" I'm like, "They're like the biggest, like most famous band in the world, like ever. They're like the biggest band of all time." And then she was like, "Bigger than like the Beatles?" And I was like, "Who are the Beatles?" You know what I mean? Like in my sphere of what I grew up with, I'm like, Kiss is fucking Kiss. Like everybody knows Kiss, and music of the like, and certainly like hair bands and the 80s metal, heavy metal bands were royalty, were gods in our house. That's we knew all those
Mhm.
songs, and you'd look at those album covers and that my dad had and stuff, and both my mom and dad were big fans. So but yeah, I was not aware that Dokken had that status, just because Dokken was a classic for in our household.
Yeah, they definitely played some big venues here and there. They opened for acts. I don't know. It just seemed like they never just quite. Now they were smart enough. Like in this is the mid '80s now, where they definitely put out some videos. So definitely some
Yeah.
fun videos on MTV. They got a lot of airplay. So that
Yeah.
definitely helped their cause and got. I mean, it definitely made me more of a fan. I mean, that's where I picked them up
Well,
more.
yeah, that was
Was at MTV, honestly. So, but
that's really a big part of it, and I do miss that about like music these days. But like music video, there's no. Certainly, you have access to, like, if you have Apple Music, like music videos that bands make are on there, and like you can go to YouTube. But like it was a part of, like, you could just flip on MTV or VH1 and like the music videos were there playing, and you discovered new bands by also not only hearing the music and the words, but also like getting a vibe for that band by watching what kind of video they put together for songs. I really miss that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we give a lot of flowers to, and rightfully so, to Don Dokken.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Good pick. Good pick.
what's the next overlap you want to talk about?
Well, let's do just Jeff Tate right here. I mean,
Yeah.
Jeff Tate is two of the guys on my list are two of my favorite singers of all time, as far as their voice and what their voice does to my happy part of my brain when I hear it. It just, Jeff Tate and Paul Stanley are two of my favorite singers ever. And Jeff Tate, yeah, the guy just he's once again, no one sounds like him. Not a single singer I've ever been like, that sounds like that could be Queensryche. That sounds like Jeff Tate. Nope. Only Jeff Tate sounds like that. And you want to talk about range and man, like as a lyricist too, like I mean the songs he's written, and we just saw him last April and he still sounded incredible.
Oh man, good show.
Like not even just good for his age, but like incredible.
Yes.
Very impressive. Also has a brand new album out, which I reviewed a couple episodes back, Mind Crime 3. Definitely, if you're a fan of Queensryche or the first one at all in any capacity, go check it out. Very cool. But yeah, good to see him still going. I just think there is something so sonically pleasing about his voice to me. He's just such a great talent, great artist. And yeah, just Queensryche's music has always stuck with me, and primarily, as much as I love the music that they've produced, it's his voice that is the driving, that is the engine behind Queensryche for me. And I know that Queensryche has moved on with a different singer, and he's very talented in his own right, but it's not Jeff Tate. He doesn't. It's not this. It's just not the same. And that's no disrespect. It's just I don't think anyone is Jeff Tate.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. You say that almost with a lot of these guys we have on our list here. They're very themselves, but yeah, I had to put Jeff Tate on there. Like one of both our favorite albums of all time. One of them is Operation Mindcrime, like you said, and just man, like you said, the range of vocals on that album is just it's incredible.
Yeah,
and again, you talk about just powerful vocalists. I mean, he's got to be the top two, three of maybe all metal vocalists of all time. You know, really, you could make that argument. But yeah, I just like you say, just everything about him, just enjoy it, and you could do. There wasn't anything he really could not do.
Yeah,
and it was a real shame that again, Queensryche never quite. They were just kind of breaking through. I don't remember exactly all what happened. I know they had the Empire album, and they sort of kind of fizzled out a little bit after that, But we were very pleased to see that he still could do it as well as he could do it, So, so yeah, good job to him, man. Like you say, just thoroughly entertaining, and I don't know if that type of vocal is for everybody, honestly, but man, it's just pitch perfect, everything, just great.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's one of there's certain notes that he hits, especially on Mindcrime, that like just gives me fucking chills. Like it's just like, oh man, like it's just, he's a powerhouse all the way through. Yep. Yep.
All right.
Which leaves us with Mr. Dickinson, Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden. We both have him as well. He's another one, certainly on the more metal side of, I think, a lot of the singers that, except at the exception of Rob Halford, of course. But certainly he's the most metal of them on my list. But yeah, just we sound like we're repeating ourselves, but it is kind of the theme of those. And I was thinking of this as I was coming up with this list today. For a genre of music, like your 80s heavy metal and stuff like that, for a genre of music that is, I feel like, so widely maybe stereotyped and generalized, with the, kind of how I let in with the segment and everything's very like crazy. David Lee Roth, right? You know what I mean? I think is maybe like the prototype of that everybody thinks of or something like that. But for a genre that is so generalized, there's so many singers of that time. They had I guess in a general way, the music was similar, but vocally, like all of them stood out, or not all of them, but I mean, the vast majority of frontmen from these bands, they stood out. You know what I mean? In their own
Yeah,
way, they had their own
yeah,
sound. You know,
yeah.
yeah, maybe musically, you could say this sounds like this could be this band or that band, and it all kind of had a general vibe to it, but I feel like a lot of the singers really had their own marks, their own stamps that was
Mhm.
kind of unique to them. They were very different in that way.
I agree. You definitely, and we know Bruce had, man, still arguably one of the best musically talented bands, period. One of the
Yeah,
best. I mean, all those guys could play their instruments at the highest levels. All those dudes, you know. Of course, they finally just got in the Hall of Fame this year.
yeah.
Thank goodness. But
That was the longest standing, I think, collective injustice that at least I'm like
yeah,
it was absolutely mind blowing to me that Iron Maiden was not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
yeah,
It's just completely ridiculous.
yeah.
So good on them for finally correcting that.
But he just fits that band so well. Like you say, he's a powerhouse, but he can stand on his own, but he's not trying to. They don't need him. I guess that's sort of the difference there too. They don't need that band doesn't need a vocalist like a
That's
Jeff
that good,
Tate who could just
right?
blow you away, and you're sort of like these guys playing instruments are pretty good, but this vocalist is incredible. He
Yeah.
just fits in with that band so nicely. Good range,
Hmm.
powerful vocals, maybe not as powerful as some of the other guys here, but again, he doesn't
Yeah.
even need to be. They don't need him to do all that stuff,
Right.
So, and just a great stage presence, kind of a showman, just has fun with it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing them later this year in
Yeah.
September. But yeah, just a solid, great vocalist, man. I don't really know what else to say, really.
Yeah.
And lyrically, like you said too, lyrically, Iron Maiden, definitely one of the more unique metal bands with the
Sure.
type of songs that they have. I mean, they go all over the place. They just
Yeah.
like, we just want to write this song and tell this story, and it could be a fucking 12-minute song, and it's like that. We don't care.
Yeah.
That we're going to do that, and then we're going to sing about something else for 3 minutes. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
Yeah,
So
they've definitely like just done it their way the whole time, and like the masses and masses of fans that they have are like, I'm here for it. Like whatever whatever they do, I'm here for it, and rightfully so, because like you said, they're such an incredible band, and yeah, Bruce is just a ridiculously great frontman. I mean, when you think of all time frontmen stage presence, he's up there too. Like he's
oh
just
yeah,
very commanding of the stage and of the crowd. Very charismatic and captivating. So yeah,
yeah, interacting with the big eddies on the stage and everything.
yeah,
The guy just has fun.
yeah,
You know, man. All
yeah.
right.
That's a good one. So there's our three we overlapped on. So I want to hear. I want you to. I want you to tell me some more about Ronnie James Dio. I'm very familiar with Ronnie James Dio, but I want to hear you talk a little bit about why he's on your list.
That's a guy, man. It's just uh so unique. He had such a unique sound to him, and it one of those guys that just, again, solid range, very, again, another powerful vocalist, just made it seem so easy, just seamless.
Yeah,
And I've heard stories of him on, Eddie Trunk, is a metal host. He does metal podcasts and stuff like that. You probably seen or
yeah.
listened to him
Was the main
before.
host of that metal show on
That's right.
VH1. That's where I first discovered Eddie Trunk. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, great guy. But he's talked to Dio, and he was telling stories about him. He passed away a few years ago, but Dio did. But yeah, Trunk was saying he just was always marveled by the guy because he'd just be sitting there talking to him in the green room, before a show or something like that. He's like, "Don't you need to warm up or anything like that?" And he's like, "No, I'm good." You just be hanging out, rapping, and just walk on the stage and bam,
yeah. Just turn it on.
Yeah. I saw him live a few times here, and he was one of those singers where, I'm lucky enough to see a lot of these guys on our list actually live.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I've seen all the ones on my list live. I think I've seen
Yeah.
Vixen live before, but
Nice.
Yeah, again, it's just one of those where it's just it just takes you to another experience. You know what I mean? You're just
Yeah.
so in tune with like the talent that this guy has vocally.
Mm-hmm.
It just everything just is blending together. I don't know, man. It just creates a whole other level of enjoyment of the experience for me when you see somebody that can just do that. You know, he was just one of those guys, man. Every time I saw him live, every single, it's like you listen to a Dio album and it sounds great. And then you wonder, can a guy do that live? Yes. You go listen to you saw him live. It was, at least in my head anyway, it was exact same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Exact same fucking thing. Just amazing.
Yeah.
We lost him too soon, but so many great albums, so many great songs. Just
Did you ever see
just
him with
fantastic.
Black Sabbath by any chance?
Did not see him with Black Sabbath. I saw him just a few solo acts, at a few spots, from a smaller venue in Cleveland to Blossom Music Center, some bigger venues and all that. So I definitely got different experiences.
Yeah.
But all of them were just awesome.
Yeah.
So thoroughly enjoyed Dio's vocals.
Absolutely. Yeah. Incredible singer. Incredible. There again, just it's so funny for such just this very slight of frame kind of fella. He's not not a very big guy, but very commanding and very there was nobody like Ronnie James Dio. I still remember my dad had it was like a muscle shirt thing, kind of like I don't know, maybe it was a t-shirt, it was a cutoff, but it had like it was a Dio, and it said Dio, and it had like this big monster thing on it, like it's almost devil looking
thing.
And I wore that shirt all the time. That was like one of my favorite. That was the Friday shirt. Like Friday was day of like coming in little Nick with mullet walking into third grade with a Dio muscle shirt on. Yeah, those were the days.
Right on.
Yeah. So very good. All right, I'll give you one. I don't know if she's gonna make the final cut. Because we've got a lot of iconic singers here, and that is no disrespect to Miss Janet Gardner, but I love Vixen, man. All female group, just kicked ass. I mean,
yes.
I would argue they have two really big, really popular albums. I would say that were, their first two were the two that really, sent them into, whatever fame that they achieved. They were not one of the more popular bands of that time. Certainly, they probably were mostly opening acts on a lot of cards that they were on. But man, I love Vixen, and her voice, is just incredible. I mean, just to go into a genre that was so heavily male dominated.
Yeah,
and when I think of like songs from the 80s. There are so many Vixen songs that, even though there weren't a ton of hits, they all stick out. And like How Much Love is probably my favorite one by them. And there is certainly a part in that where she's hitting, there's a solo, and she drops into this different octave where she just screams how much love, and it kind of just, it just runs on, and it's hard to do it justice. I certainly couldn't imitate it, and it's hard to explain, but her voice was absolutely insane. So I was always a big fan of hers, and always a big Vixen was kind of, I would say they were really up there for the hair bands for me. They were probably a top 5 band of all of them for me that I really liked. So I had to put her on the list. Fun fact, she's not with Vixen anymore, but Vixen is still active. My dad just saw them a couple weekends ago. It was them and Slaughter, who was another favorite of mine. And the video he sent me, whoever's singing for them now, I think she used to be in Trans-Siberian Orchestra or something like that.
Oh,
She's a very good singer. He sent me some clips. I'll have to forward them to you,
Yeah.
to let you hear them. But she's much younger than the rest of the band. I think there's only one original member actually still in Vixen. I think it's the drummer. But I digress. But she sounded really good too. So it's cool to see that the band is still living on and still playing those songs and stuff like that. Maybe encouraging people to go back and listen to that band if they hadn't before. So, but I love Vixen and just thought Janet Gardner really held her own in that space and was just a great voice.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't like you. I don't know tons of songs. They also had a early MTV presence as well. Great look to the band and everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you're right. I mean, she was great. I saw them, Nick. I think it was at the. I don't think I know it was at the downtown Akron in the Cascade Plaza. They had some metal shows there for 10 minutes. They did a few of those. So that particular card was Vixen, Stephen Piercy, and then Vince Neil.
Dude, I was there.
Were you really?
I was there. Yes. Yep.
Okay.
We were there. Yep. I remember that.
That was
right downtown Akron. Yeah.
And I was back. I was there with my buddy Jim, and we had backstage like passes there.
Yeah.
So we were hanging out in the back there. So when Vixen was playing, I was standing there right by the stage. I'm like behind them, listening and watching the show. And we're standing there talking, and there's a guy standing here shorter than me. Okay. He must have been about 5'5", 5'6", something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just talking a little bit. I'm like, I couldn't really hear because the show was playing there, and inebriate or whatever, and some big bodyguard was standing there by this guy, and he's talking, and it's just like, this is Stephen Piercy. We're talking right now. We're standing here talking to Stephen Piercy. And the guy looks at me, the bodyguard guy, points to me. He goes, "Hey, you, watch this guy." Walks away. And I'm like, I think I'm Stephen Piercy's bodyguard right now, somehow. Which nobody was back there. Nothing was happening.
Sure. But
he
if
would try to
something
walk
did pop off, it was on you to protect
Yeah,
Stephen
he pointed
Piercy
at me,
from
and I was in charge for about 45 minutes, I think it was, something like that.
Wow. That's not like a 10-minute, I got to go take a piss. That's like,
it seemed that way. It's probably not that long, you know what I'm saying? But for a little while, let's just say it that way. And then the guy came back and they took Stephen, and then he went up and sang and went up hanging on his tour bus afterwards. And
that's cool.
That was pretty cool.
I remember hearing that story, and I don't remember because I didn't remember I don't know if you said it or if that part never came up before, but I remember hearing that story from you before, like not on an episode. We've just talked about that in the past. But until you said the line, I'm like, me and my mom and dad were there. We were. Like, I remember that. I remember going to that. Yeah. Yep.
That was a good show.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yep. But again, Vixen was there. She sounded great. Great, like you say, great vocalist. Excellent. All right. Okay. Well, the last one I have on my list, Nick, need to make an argument for, is the great Rob Halford, Judas Priest. Another guy here that, again, for me, one of the best vocalists, period, in my book of any, he could go up against some of the better vocalists, period, of the 80s in his own right, in my opinion, right? So that guy, man, is another one. He just a different level of power and talent. He not unlike a Jeff Tate, where again, you talk about the powerful vocalists, metal vocalist of all time. I mean, you can go back and forth between someone like Rob Halford, Jeff Tate, and maybe a couple other ones there. He's definitely on the all-time hard rock vocalist Mount Rushmore, in my opinion. So, so much. Again, terrific range. Just one of the best ranges that I can remember hearing. He could do it all.
Yeah.
Do it all, and again, make it sound seamless. and again, this if you want to talk about stage performance and everything else, just great, lot of fun, and you learn more about the man. He's just a cool dude, just a nice
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah,
This is a
so
cool,
appreciative.
yeah, very
You
down to
know,
earth guy. You just love to sit down and have a beer with him. Like, what a fucking guy.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Allie gets a kick out of him. She follows him on social media today. He does a lot of like things for like cat rescue and different things. He's always like Rob Halford with a big gray beard and the look and just wearing
Yeah.
like a cat shirt and stuff like that. just trying to help out cats.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with
Just,
that.
just a sweet man, a sweet metalhead.
Exactly.
Loves the cat. Yep.
But my God, man, just you could. There's so many great Judas Priest songs. No,
Oh, yeah.
another one. You get caught up in the vocals.
Uh-huh.
Even some of the songs, like maybe this isn't the best Judas Priest song, but it's like I'm not turning it off because it's fucking Rob Halford singing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And Judas
yeah.
Priest absolutely fucking rips. Like, just what
Ah.
I mean, I'll tell you, for example, like, you ever have something that, like, it's good and you remember it always being so epic and great, but every time you hear it or see it, you're like, wow, I'm like impressed all anew every time. It is that way with that long ass note that he holds at the end of Painkiller.
Oh, yes.
Every time I hear, like, I know it's epic and I know it's long and I know it's great. I remember all of that about it. But every time I hear it in real time, I'm like blown away by it.
Yeah.
Brand new every fucking time. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
so just pure. I mean, that is raw talent. No other way to say it. I mean, and that's just one song. That's one example. But I mean, his vocals are unmatched. I mean, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been able to do it for so many years. We saw him a couple years ago in Youngstown. Great show. There's a sense that maybe there was a little bit of, backing a little bit in a couple high notes and things. But you're not going to get angry at a man who's in his 70s or whatever it is out there doing it. That's fine. But even today, still sounded great presence, everything. But man, you go back and listen to those albums, like you say, Painkiller.
Yeah.
Just so many great songs. And a lot of people know a few Judas Priest songs. If you heard them, like You Got Another Thing Coming, a couple of things, and those vocals are great. But just spend some time, if you like metal music, go back and listen to some of the older Judas Priest albums, start to finish, and you're going to really get a treat with just the vocals of Rob Halford. Really, just amazing stuff.
Yep, absolutely. Guy's fucking royalty. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Last on my list. This is the one that it's kind of why Kiss. I got Paul Stanley right. Kiss is certainly not an '80s band, but Kiss was around in the '80s, and some of I wouldn't say most impressive, but Paul Stanley really shone a lot in the '80s. I mean, I know Kiss went through a weird time where they were kind of trying to find their place in the way the rock landscape was changing. Paul fit into it seamlessly, and there are so many great vocal performances on '80s Kiss albums from Paul Stanley.
Agree.
So that's why he's on my list. And like I said, him and Jeff Tate are my two favorite vocalists in rock ever. So I had to put Paul on the list. There's just a lot of guys. Tears Are Falling and Hide Your Heart. The list goes on. Crazy Nights I
Still Love You.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. His voice lended itself to that. Singing the way he did. I just felt like he really fit in well in that time. And just had some incredible shining moments on songs throughout the '80s. That's why Paul Stanley on there. But this is a good list. This is tough.
Paul Stanley almost single-handedly kept Kiss alive in the '80s.
Yeah,
he really did. With just everything that he was doing back then, from, like you say, the writing, partnering to write songs. He he was always a good stage presence, always. But he certainly could blend in more with the guys and the makeup and the costumes and all that. He kind of reverted a little bit more to that, with when they brought all that back here. But he definitely knew. I mean, he took it upon himself. He needed to be the front man. The more of a traditional front man in the '80s. So he did you had the whole flamboyancy and all that type of stuff. But he of everybody had the best look probably of the '80s and everything of all those guys here. But like you said, he had some very solid vocals like you say, throughout almost every Kiss album. There's a few songs where, I mean, is he the greatest vocalist in the whole world? No, but it's definitely solid. He had some very decent range, very respectable range.
Yeah,
and again, if you're a Kiss fan, most people would say, I appreciate more the 70s or maybe even some of the 90s stuff or what have you. But like you say, some of those 80s Kiss albums, don't go to sleep on those. Go back and listen to some of those. You're going to hear some, really, really good stuff there with Paul Stanley's vocals. No question.
Yeah.
So not a ridiculous submission at all, being a Kiss fan, to consider vocalists.
Yeah. Yeah. So... All right. Well, now's the hard part. Now we've got 3 already done, but I don't know. It depends. Okay. What are you thinking? Where's your head at? I'm gonna remove Miss Janet Gardner from submission. Like I said, I felt it was important to submit her because I really appreciated her voice and what she did in that time.
Sure.
But certainly when you think legacy and throughout the genre and throughout the decade as a whole, not as much staying power certainly as the others we're talking about. I'm gonna already second Ronnie James Dio right off the rip. I think Ronnie James Dio belongs on the list. Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought you were going to second Rob Halford.
I am too, actually. So, but here's the thing. I think they both belong on there. Absolutely. I'd almost be willing to, and if I was making room for Paul, did we if I was gonna make room for Paul, I'd almost rethink Don Dokken if I had to. But I think Bruce, Jeff, Rob, and Ronnie James Dio all belong. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's where my head's at right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you there. I mean,
and I'm not saying Don Dokken has to be replaced by Paul Stanley. I'm saying if we decide that Paul Stanley needs to be on there, that's the one I would switch him for. Because the other 4 I think are just absolutely non-negotiable solid. They got to be there.
Yeah. We're not talking overall like contribution necessarily and showmanship and this and that. You mean, in my head, when you said, hey, vocalist, I'm like, okay, that's where my head went, just from a vocal talent perspective, right? So if that's what we're talking about here, in my head, Paul went out over Don Dokken. I don't think, as far as sheer vocal talent.
Gotcha.
I don't think, anyway. That's my opinion. I think that.
Yeah.
I think the best that Paul Stanley has, again, and it's good. I love Paul Stanley. You know that. I love Kiss.
Yeah.
And the best that Paul Stanley can do. I honestly, you talk about that era. I think Don Dokken could have done some of those songs easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Like, some of the, it would have been different, but it would have been vocally solid and pleasing. So
yeah,
I think sheer talent wise, it's hard for me to edge out Paul Stanley over, to be honest, over any of these guys. In my opinion, I'll listen to an argument.
Yeah.
I'll listen to an argument. I'm not
you may be right.
No.
And Paul Stanley is an incredibly gifted singer, but mine is also my enjoyment for it. Like I said, there's a factor, and it's the same thing with Jeff Tate, where it's so unmistakable. No one can sing like him. Like it's maybe not necessarily the vocal skill or range or power necessarily, but what is uniquely him that is so pleasing to me. So no, I could understand that. I could understand that argument. So yeah. All right. So Don stays. And I think we've got so Don Dokken, Jeff Tate, and Bruce Dickinson were our unanimous right off the rip. We both overlapped on more
was
than
amazing.
half.
I didn't think
of the
we'd have
number
that.
of four. So that's for sure. And then also included in that, Rob Halford and Ronnie James Dio.
Man, that's a solid list, man.
It is.
That's a
It
solid
is.
list of any metal decade.
Yeah.
Right there. Arguably one of the best, if not the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
I don't know what decade would beat it. Maybe 70s a little bit. I don't even know. That's another topic perhaps another
Maybe.
time
That's
here.
true.
But
Yeah, that's
80s,
true.
that's hard to beat those dudes
Yeah.
in the 80s, man.
People
Those
can
guys
give a
are
lot
great.
of flack to 80s music and stuff like that, but when it comes down to performance and the vocal skill on singers as a whole, I mean, across the board, that was like everybody came to play.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I do like the topic another time of best front singer, front man, front woman,
Sure.
whatever, just overall presence
Overall,
and
commanding of the
performance,
stage.
everything.
Yep, absolutely.
So you'll get a different list.
Sure. Yep.
Paul Stanley's on that list. That's not even a question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But just sheer talent. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I'm happy with this list.
Yeah, me too. Very good. Lock it in. Oddly enough, no love for Dave Mustaine, another popular 80s.
Yeah, you can't.
I love Dave Mustaine.
I love Dave Mustaine. You cannot put.
I joke.
Even James Hetfield. I know you're kidding around, but it's like those guys cross my mind for a second. I'm like, they can't.
No,
they wouldn't even say that they deserve to be on the list from a vocal, not lyrical. Lyrical, yes.
Yeah.
Vocally, no.
What do you mean I didn't make your list? I didn't even know you had a podcast. No, I love Megadeth, but when we're talking vocal performances, I saw a meme one time, and I think I brought it up before, but like it was hilarious. It was like Megadeth's music, and then it had like a picture of like Arnold as Conan the Barbarian, and then it was like Megadeth vocals, and it was just Beavis from Beavis and Butthead.
That's right. That's good.
So
that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So
that's pretty accurate.
So
that's right.
All right. Well, that's a great list. I think we've done it, my friend.
We've done it yet again. No interruptions. Cruise right through.
It's a really well flowing podcast. Like really good flow, good rhythm. Yeah.
Not one rustling reference for no reason. Not one.
Not a single one. Not one. All right. Well, if you're out there wrestling with what to do with your free time on your mobile device or on your home computer or perhaps your work computer, I would advise you to go and find us, Convincing Idiots, on all of your favorite social media accounts, and you can find links to them by going to Google, go to Google and type in Convincing Idiots Linktree. And you can follow those links to our social media accounts. Please like, subscribe, rate, review, interact with us in any way because it helps out the show, and we appreciate that. You can also find all that stuff and even more on our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So, for episode 302, I'm all over the fucking place. Google 302, 302 of Convincing Idiots. I am Millennial Nick.
Gen X Brian.
Have we convinced you that we've had the best list of the 80s?
Hey, team with Convincing Idiots. Brian and Nick here. Like and subscribe.
Ham
know. I'm curious to see, but yeah, I was never aware they even did concerts in Norton like that. So
Maybe it's a newer thing. I don't know.
yeah.
Yep. Hello, Norton.
How y'all
right.
feel? I heard some of y'all like apple cider at Norton. Yeah. You know, Norton Cider Fest the only way who's gonna give it to you the way you want it. Pasteurized. Ow. I would love some. Yeah, I would love some. He does. Like, rich guy. He does a lot of talking in between and stuff. But I'd like a little more Paul Stanley, like traditional Paul Stanley banter.
Yes. Yes. Just driving down the street. Wow. Wild. I never saw a screen that big before.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Oh, wait.